Welcome everyone. Sorry we're running a little late. Welcome everyone. Sorry we're running a little late. Sorry everyone, we were running a little bit late today. Even later than expected, but hey, we are here now. We are here now. We are here now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday. Today is Hanuman's Day. Hanuman. So I just got back from running an errand, so I got my jacket on and everything, but we're gonna fix this room up so we can sit and worship and read the Ramayana. Let's see, this isn't still dripping, is it? It's okay. Alright, it's my lovely plant friend whom we're sitting with. Let me get some devotional music started. Let's see. Hello, Jason. Let's see. So good to see you again. Let's see. I'm going to try to get Steven in here as well as Seraphim. We'll see if he'll join. I hope he joins tonight. That would be nice. I turned off the settings to show all the viewers, so now it only shows top viewers, and I forgot how to change it. It was like months ago. But we'll get there. We'll figure it out, indeed. Indeed. Apple juice. These were cloths to cover up my bird cage. We've uncovered them. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Just been sitting with that, actually. I think we should probably sit with the Maha Mantra as we're coming into devotion. Let's see. River of Maha Mantra is one of my favorites by Krishna Das. Maha Mantra. Is this the long one? Yeah. Ashe, Ashe.
When the temperature drops, you've got two choices. Close your eyes and think warm thoughts, or open your eyes and get out here.
Sorry for nobody on live. I'll let you know that for I did everything I could. I'm already late. How are you all this lovely Tuesday? Today is Hanuman's Day. Tuesday is Hanuman Day. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Lovely image of Krishna. Lovely image of Rama together. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. My hair's being hard to deal with. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. My goodness. I need a mirror. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's an oil lamp called a diya. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just wonder why it's not catching. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hey Haribol, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. What it means go. Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna all on my hands. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. It's not mustard seed at all. I wish it was. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare about the odds. I think the Hanuman dies today. Hanuman's died. His Jews died. And we're reading the Ramayana, my favorite Indian epic ever. Probably my favorite story. Trilogy Hanuman. Shri Guru Charana Sarvajaya Jamana Guru Sudhara Vara Vimala Jasu Ora Jaya Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jaya Kapishati Hamo Jaga Ramaduta Tulita Baladama Anjani Putra Pawan Karasuvana Kesharina Teja Pratapa Mahajana Vidyawana Guniya Ticha Turama Kajakare Bekova Prabhu Charitra Suni Beko Rasiya Rama Lakana Sita Manabasiya Ukshma Rupa Darisiya Hindekava Rupa Dari Lanka Java Bhima Rupa Dari Asura Samhare Ramachandra Ke Kalpa Samhare Laya Sajivana Lakana Jiyaye Shri Raghuvira Harasi Raghupati Sabadana tomorrow yasagawe Janakadika Brahma Sharada Saidahisa Yama Kubera Digapala Jahante Kaviko Veda Kahisaki Kahante Tuma Upakara Supriva Hinkina Rama Milaya Raja Padavina Tumaro Mantra Vivishana Mana Lankeshwara Bhaya Sabadagajana Yuga Sahastra Jojana Paravana Niyota Madhura Milan Bukamahin Jaladilanki Gaya Dugramaka Jagata Kijete Sugrama Nugraha Tumarete Rama Duhare Tumarakuare Bhotananya Bindu Pesare Tapasukalahe Tumhare Sharana Durakshaka Kahu Kodarana Apana Teja Samharo Ape Tinon Lokahan Gatin Kampe Bhuta Pesachane Katana Hirave Mahavira Javana Sudave Nasiro Gahare Sapapira Japata Nirantara Hanumatavira Sankataten Hanumana Churave Manakrama Bachana Dhyana Jola Sababara Rama Tapasvi Raja Tinake Karza Sakala Tumasava Ora Manortha Joko Ilave Sohira Jivana Palapa Charon Yuga Paratapa Tumhara He Parasida Jagatu Sadhu Santa Ke Tumarakoare Asurana Kandana Ramadulare Ashta Siddhi no Nidhi Data Ashavara Dina Jana Jima Rama Rasayana Tumare Pasa Sadhara Hora Jupati Kedasa Tumare Bhajana Rama Kopawe Janama Janama Ke Dukha Bisara Antaka Bhuvara Pura Jai Jahana Janma Hari Bhakti Bahai Ora Devata Chitta Nadarahi Hanumata Se Sara Karahi Tan Katakate Mite Sabavira Yosumire Hanumata Balavira Jai 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 Hanumana Gosahin Kripa Karahu Guru Devaki Joshatavara Pata Karagohi Chutai Bandi Mahasukaho Goya Pare Hanumana Chalisa Goya Siddhi Saki Orisa Tulasi Dasa Sada Hari Chera Ije Nada Hridaya Mahadev Avanatanaya Sankata Harana Mangala Murati Siyara Rama Lakana Sita Sahita Hridaya Sahu Surabu with my heart Shiva Ramachandra Parije Sharanam Mangala Murati Marukta Nandan Sakala Mangala Muranikanda Mangala Murati Marukta Nandan Sakala Mangala Muranikanda Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Sitaram 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 Jai Jai Sitaram 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 Jai Jai Sitaram 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 Jai Jai Sitaram 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 Jai Jai Sitaram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. There he is. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 No worries if you missed Shalisa or anything. We will be doing another one right after this. I'm gonna take a very short break to check on a notification I just got, but it'll probably be just 3 seconds. I'll be right back.
Hey, how are you, Sarafim?
Good. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Always good to be here.
Yeah, how was live yesterday? I missed it. I really missed it. I was so damn sleepy.
We were
I
pretty.
really missed it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because we were pretty late to the game yesterday. So
Yeah.
I think we did it a little bit later than we normally do it because I think it was after 11 o'clock. But
I
Okay.
just had a weird charge to my card, so I'm gonna go make sure that I didn't lose my. I'm gonna make sure I didn't lose my credit card. No, it's in here. I think. Oh, I hope so. My debit card, whatever. Okay, yep, we're good. We're good. All right, it's probably just a fluke in the system. Because it didn't take anything out of my account. It was just scary. You know, it's like, what charge? I'm not there. 2 minutes ago, I was chanting. Let's set with a Hanuman prayer, and then we'll set with a very short one, and then we'll start reading, guys. I'm excited. We were at a very good chapter last night. Chapter Sarga, whichever word works best for you. Let's see. Hanuman prayer. I like this 3-minute one. It's very short but so powerful. All right. Let's go through the space there. There we go. Yep. Found it. All right. How is everyone on this beautiful Tuesday evening? It is great to hear, man. It's great to hear. It is Hanuman's Day. That is the day of Hanuman.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'll try to clear up this little tealic a little bit. It's a little messy. Aesthetics, man. Silly.
Actually, 2 days of Hanuman. You know that?
What'd you say?
Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah, Tuesdays and
Tuesday and
Saturdays.
Saturday.
Tuesdays and Saturdays. There's a lot of people in India who, or even if they're not in India, who are just Hindu, and they practice fasting from animal products on Tuesdays. The Hanuman. mo. Avanapala Naganagan. Yasu Hridaya Gara. Basirama Sarcha. Antulita Baladama. Emashela Vadeham. Manojavam Krishanam. Ganinam Agraganyam. Sakalaguna Nidhanam. Vanarala Adesham. Raghupati Prayapatnam. Atajanam Namami. Pushpade Kritarisham. Majiki Kritarakshasam. Ramayana Mahamala Ratnam. Mande Velagmajam. Mananjanam Veer. Agu. Janaki Shokanashanam. Svatshakamukaram. Vande Lanka. Manojavam. Marutatuya Vega. Jitendriya. Udimata Varista. Vatatmajam. Son of Vayu. Vanarayuktamukyam. Shri Ramaduta. Sharanam Prabhu, O servant of God. Shri Ramaduta. Sharanam Prabhu. Shri Ramaduta. Sharanam Prabhu. Shri Ramaduta. Servant of God. Sharanam Prabhu. Bola Bajranga Bali Hanumana Ki Jai. Ki Jai.
Jai, Jai.
Ki Jai. Howdy Bol. Howdy Bol. We sat with the Maha Mantra earlier.
Hari Bol.
I wanted to share with you guys something I had found yesterday. It was actually gifted to me by God, I think. I've been studying with Mother Mary that I found an image of her in a tree. So I've been worshiping it, and just spending time with her and the Mother of God and the Mother of all of us, Jagatambe, the World Mother. And, the Virgin Mother. We all come from her, Let's see. This was a beautiful pendant that I just found at my job on the floor. And this is the Father and the Holy Mother, that's the dove, and then the Son. And I thought, wow, that's spot on, man. It even looks like it almost looks like a Shiva Linga down here at the bottom too. I don't know if you can see that with the yoni. Yeah. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? Let's see.
Fine.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
It was meant to be there for you.
Absolutely. It's helping heal that wound, There's a lot of I would say religious trauma that comes from being raised in an indoctrinated, cult or religion that's very dogmatic, systematic, very exclusive. There's a lot of damage that comes from that. A lot of just unnatural, attempting to go against the grain, and it did damage a lot of my understanding of God. And this has been a journey for me with Maharaji and Ram Das and all of these teachings that Christ died the only real death, that he didn't really die at all, that he lost himself in love, and that death was a release into Satchitananda, truth, consciousness, and bliss. This is something that's within all of us. And he's shown it on probably the grandest scale imaginable for this time period in Kali. It's absolutely beautiful. When Maharaji was asked, he told people to meditate like Christ. When he was asked how Christ meditated, he said, he sat in silence for a while and a single tear fell from his cheek. He said he lost himself in love. He lost himself in love. You don't understand. He didn't die. He lost himself in love. Lost himself in love. So may us too die to our egos and lose ourselves in the love of God. Let's go. You know, we've been moving into a new age when it comes to the age of Aquarius. We're moving into a new way of thinking, a new way of operating on these spiritual paradigms and these, and working with these ascended masters. You know, these ascended masters are you. They're none other than you. They're not separate from you. They're not pure, more pure, or out of reach. You have every capability they do. And they were here to tell you that as Jesus knew he was the way, you can know you're the way. You can know the truth of your soul. You can know the truth within you. That you are loving awareness. That your soul can never, ever be tainted or touched or diminished or dimmed, truthfully, by Maya. That it is all a dance, that we become lost to get found, that there is infinite grace and love for each and every one of us. And that infinite grace and love, that unconditional love is what transmutes and heals us. And I had to learn that message again here recently. I've been setting with that unconditional love because I had lost sight of it. And, you know, we get lost to get found again. We get lost to find out just how much we truly need it. You know? Wow, it's like the plant's having a bad hair day, but it's pretty, so I almost want to leave it a little bit. I wanted to read a card before we read the Ramayana. Let's see. This is from the White Light Oracle deck. I read from the book still because it's brand new to me. So I'm still learning. And they also have really cool interactive, like, healing walkthroughs, I guess you could say. It I say interactive because you guys can follow along if you so wished. I like to pull with synchronicity, see what Spirit has to say for each and every person on here. It's a collective reading. Reading. Hear my accent come out for a minute. Shuffle a little bit. That was two. Alright, I guess we're meant to read a few. That's a lot, though. There we go. Two every time. Two every single time. You don't have a choice, guys. You gotta read it. There are two. This is the telepathy of Terra Mater. Mater is another word for mother. Telepathy is communication without words, obviously. It's with the mind, in the mind's eye. Funny enough, on some of my plant medicine and life journeys, I've experienced telepathy. It's a real phenomenon. And you can experience it, too, without using anything external from you. You just have to be really tuned into someone's heart space. And another thing to add is have nothing to hide. Have nothing to hide from someone. The more open you are to that space, the more that you can even find yourself speaking their thoughts. You ever seen twins who say the exact same thing and they can't help it? Or brothers or good friends, you know? It's similar. 22. Okay, this is 36. Then we have Ein Sof Aura, which is a beautiful card. 36 is Telepathy of Terra Mater. Comes to 186. Hopefully it's not too long a one. Really excited to get into the Ramayana tonight. Even though these are good too. You can't neglect yourself. You know? The pathways for your spiritual fulfillment and the sacred manifestation of your purpose is not necessarily logical and will evolve organically. The skillful and unpredictable workings of the Earth Mother are supporting your soul journey unconditionally. Following up on inspired ideas and allowing for unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul purpose. Commit to an idea that feels good to your heart. Even if it seems improbable, unattainable, or unattainable, it will manifest successfully. Mm. The Earth Mother, who we were just speaking about, or Terra Mater in Latin, is so much more than a physical being. She is also a goddess of great spiritual development, not to mention creative pizzazz. As a masterful practitioner of artful evolution, she creates butterflies from caterpillars, massive oak trees from marvelously odd little acorns, and a radiant soul from the flesh of a human, infused with the eternal spirit. The union of body and spirit create the soul. Her mind-bending skill in the miraculous magic of evolutionary manifestation can be relied upon to evoke far greater sublime beauty and rapturous delight than even the most inspired human imagination can conjure. As a sacred feminine being, she knows how to nurture the essence of all beings into fulfillment. She knows what your soul is divinely intended to become, and what you need to meet your destiny. She has the resources and wisdom to support each soul in such a way that there is benefit for all beings. This is the applied genius of ecosystem intelligence. It is the antithesis of the lone wolf mentality of the ego and the heartwarming, spiritually empowering reality that none of us is in this alone. We can learn to feel held in this unity consciousness, understanding that we have our own special role in the greater scheme of things. This will most likely involve a process of healing past wounds of abandonment, neglect, and betrayal. Such healing allows us to gently cleanse the heart and settle into life with more trust and peace. We will understand that as we fulfill our own heart, we are contributing towards the fulfillment of all hearts. We will recognize at a deep, intuitive, cellular level that our soul fulfillment is never just about us as individuals. Whenever there is a genuine spiritual win, every being benefits. Egos may not like it. They may feel jealous or denied, and will likely whinge and whine, and perhaps try to undermine your spiritual progress by labeling your work as selfish, deluded, or irrelevant. That is what egos do. Best to note it, have compassion for it, then ignore it and get on with your sacred task. The Oracle of Telepathy of Terra Mater, telepathy of the Earth Mother, comes to you with the guidance that Earth Mother knows your spiritual destiny and how to help fulfill your life purpose. Because, of course, that is why you are here in a body. She is on the side of your soul, of all souls actually, because while egos may be at war, the soul is always on the same side, that of love, evolution, and enlightenment. The ways of Terra Mater are the complex ways of the divine feminine creatrix. She knows how to shape your life path to avoid pitfalls and provide you with all you need to know and experience so that you are prepared for your next steps. She consistently nurtures the soul through the most improbable evolutionary leaps. One only has to contemplate the existence of a butterfly. Excuse me. And how it becomes as such to know that logic and the predictable are not often her creative makers. She prefers the astonishing over the rational. What does this mean? Don't let your intellect stifle your imagination. Trust in the inspired idea, unconventional guidance, and heart-honoring intuitions that occur to you. Earth Mother will heal your soul and speak to your heart through the telepathic transmitter of your body. Take time to tune into your body and let her guiding genius. And to her guiding genius. That's wild. The last few days I feel have been bringing up a lot of wounds, specifically of abandonment, neglect, and betrayal. I don't know if that's for everyone, but for me at least. And I had to heal those and transmute those and work with those, and I still am. We all are on a constant healing path, but every time that we, lose sight of the way and we come back, the two spots get closer and closer together. The union and the separatism, they get closer and closer together until eventually there's no time where you don't know you're one with the divine. And that's the goal, guys. That's where we're headed. And that only happens through raising the vibration and continuing to work on yourself and dissolving this ego that keeps us all in this form of separatism of me, my, I. Ram Dass came to me today, and I sat with the Be Here Now crew in one of their Zoom calls, and Ram Dass came through one of the guys who was sitting in my group, and he said, "Who is this I that we're talking about? Who is this I?" Alan Watts had a good video where he said, you sit in meditation all the time, and you keep trying to find this I, All these Mahayana Buddhist guys who've meditated forever, and they'll tell you, go find yourself. Go find yourself. Go find who you really are. It's funny because there's no I to be found inside. There's just the all. There's just pure reflection. It's just a mirror. There's literally no I. Literally no I. There is no separate I from all that is. It all is one. It all is one. If practical, and this is the healing process, it's interactive, so feel free to follow along if you feel so led, and take what resonates and leave what doesn't in your own spiritual walk, of course. If practical, you can complete this process in nature. We'll add some leaves. You could also make an offering by respectfully gathering treasured items, such as a leaf, a flower, a crystal, a feather, scented woods and resins, and create a medicine bundle. This is funny, I just did this like yesterday. Like, Spirit is really speaking through this card right now. Like, I literally just did this. Like, I just did this. No, become aware of your breath flowing in and out. Drop into your connection with the natural realm of our Earth Mother by grounding your awareness at your feet. You may sense the natural energy exchange that flows between the soles of your feet and the Earth's energy field. Become present. Imagine your feet can feel, hear, sense, and receive the sacred transmissions of the Earth Goddess. Let those transmissions rise up your legs and travel to your heart, along your arms and out through your hands. In response to this, you may allow your body to make spontaneous movements to sound, to meditate, to dance, to express from an authentic place without interrupting or analyzing. Let those transmissions continue to rise up to your throat, where they can whirl in sacred vortexes of blue light, integrated into your system. That blue swirling light moves inwardly to bring your blessings and radiates outwardly to support the opening of your soul voice. Allow your awareness to naturally settle at your feet again. Feel, imagine, or intend to communicate love and gratitude to the Earth Mother from your heart through the soles of your feet. Sense the sacred bond between you and the Earth. There is a constantly flowing exchange of healing and communication between you. Let go of what you had thought or demanded or expected or feared. Instead, be in this embodied communion with your mother now. She loves you, and she knows what's best. Rest, play, and express here for as long as feels good. You have completed your healing process. Ashe. It's very good, very good. The Earth Mother is called Jagatambe, the World Mother. Pachamama, Parvati, Shakti, Durga, Kali, all epithets. 22, Ein Sof Or. 129. All right, Ein Sof R is one of my favorite cards. I've pulled this one before. Ein Sof R. So the Ein Sof in Kabbalah is the topmost Sephirot. So it is the place where divine transmission descends. Actually, it's our crown chakra, and it descends to our third eye from that place. A way through the struggle has already been created for you, and you are being led onto that path. Your authentic soul path may include recognition and acclaim, notable success and admiration. Be grateful, but do not be dazzled or distracted by such experiences, and focus on what connects to your heart and grounds you in the simplicity of spiritual truth, which is the practice of love, kindness, and peace. This will allow for successful progress in the material world without disturbing the sanctity of your soul. In the mysticism of the Kabbalah, Ein Sof Or is the first and truest light. It emerges from the Absolute, which is pure emptiness, beyond all characteristics, phenomena, and form. The capacity to create something from apparently nothing is one of the definitions of magic. Ein Sof Or is the universe, pulling rabbits out of hats on a cosmic scale. Because the spiritual light emerges from spaciousness of infinite potentiality, it is imbued with endless creativity, resourcefulness, and spontaneous responsiveness. Whatever is needed is made manifest. Where was I at? I lost it. Made manifest, provided to the receptive heart, and will benefit all beings. Receptivity is the key to unlocking this white light magic of the Spirit. When we are open to it, surrendered to its wisdom, and willing to place that wisdom above our own opinions, we are capable of receiving and benefiting from it. If we are trying to dictate its course or to contrive or control it to meet our needs as we think it should be met, then we are not being receptive. The path of control and domination and dominance is regressive. It is not sacred magic. It is not of the Spirit. Ein Sof Or, I would also say it's probably patriarchal. Ein Sof Or illuminates the ways of sacred soul magic that creates healing and deep fulfillment. And that would go in hand with the Great Mother card we just pulled. It recognizes there is a problem, yet does not dwell on it, nor evoke toxic mind games of blame and shame. It focuses on solutions. Underneath fancy words, outlandish claims, and complex doctrines, the light of Spirit is recognized by its effect. Genuine spiritual connection helps us outgrow our problems. Ego will tell you a situation is too complicated or someone else is to blame, or if you could just change this one thing, healing could happen. But when you are in ego, you are not spiritually effective. You will be locked in suffering and confusion. As a human being, you will be able to use your free will as you choose. You can focus on the negative and distance yourself from the light. Refuse to trust and insist you always know best. You can focus on the negative and distance yourself from the light. You can refuse to trust and insist you always know best. You can choose to feel unappreciated, betrayed, or afraid when life does its unpredictable dance. But Spirit will love you and help to seek you, even when you use your free will in such a way. At any time, you can choose to say, enough of that misery, and open your heart to connect with the higher creative and healing intelligence of the light. No matter how much our wounded minds or broken hearts may believe a situation cannot be healed, Ein Sof Or is always there. It reminds us that whether we can see it or not, there is a spiritual path through all troubles. That path can be so beautiful we will become profoundly grateful for the struggle, which caused us to grow, even if we never wish to repeat the experience. Acknowledgement is the beginning of healing. If something isn't quite right, be kind and wise enough to admit it. Then seek out the genuine light which will evoke peace in your heart. Have the courage and trust to let go of approaches that will not lead you anywhere worth going. As you open yourself to what is, even the unexpectedly difficult twists of fate, you will become ever closer to the radiant grace and luminous clarity which is reassuring you, healing you, guiding you, and loving you. The healing process. Connect consciously to your body and your breath. Bring yourself fully into this present moment. Be here now. Imagine you can release all thoughts, fears, and obsessions about your problems or concerns, even if just for this exercise. Big sigh. Let it all out. Give it to God. Eat it, Ma. Eat it, Ma. Imagine you can release all these thoughts, fears, and obsessions about your problems or concerns, even if just for this exercise. You can imagine dusting them off your auric field as though you were dusting off little bits of spiderweb that have become stuck to you while walking through a garden path. You may like to play at such spiritual dusting through your energy field. For a few moments now. It will increase your clarity of mind and presence in your body. When you are ready, say the following prayer aloud. You can repeat after me if you so feel called. Thank you, Pachamama, Papa Ra, Ram, Sita, Radhe, Krishna. I call upon the pure light of wisdom, compassion, and divine love. I invite the genius of spiritual grace to enter into my heart. And with mercy, clear the path to the highest loving consciousness. I loosen my mental and emotional grip on fixed opinions and open with trust to the higher wisdom and creative path that will set my heart free. It's a little long, I hope that's okay. May all beings know such merciful grace and generous assistance for their greatest good. Now imagine, feel, intend, or visualize that you are resting in a beautiful field of light for as long as feels good to you. As your personal energy field has been cleared and sheltered through your practice thus far, you are now free and able to feel, sense, or perceive the beautiful light which holds you tenderly in its spiritual embrace. When you are ready, gently guide yourself back to this moment by following the flow of your breath in and out. Hydrate and ground yourself. You have completed your healing process. We're going to take some few deep breaths, and I'm going to go grab some water real quick.
Well, you're watering here? I thought about doing that the other day.
I'm still live. Yeah, that's what I did. I'm still live. Please wait. Come on. It's not. Come on. I'm still live. Oh, wait. Wait, okay? Okay? It's for us. We're supposed to share it. It's supposed to be romantic. Come on. Okay. All right. Thank you, beautiful. I love you. So this is Ein Sof R, and this was telepathy of the Terra Mata, the Earth Mother. Beautiful, beautiful reading. I'm so happy, stoked to be reading the Ramayana with you guys. So stoked. Let's take a few deep breaths. Nirvana breaths, as I call them, because nirvana means to breathe out in Sanskrit, like a sigh of relief. Let all that tension go. Give it to God. Give it to God. You are divine. All right, guys. We read chapter or Sarga 40 last night. We were on Sarga 41, and just to fill my dude in, Paresh. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so it was just the story of the creation of the Ganga. If you want to read that on your own time, you're perfectly able to. It's a pretty beautiful story. A little hard to. I had to use special words for TikTok because of what it says, but that's perfectly fine. Sarga 41. When Sagara had succumbed to the law of time, Rama, his ministers made righteous Ashumant their king. Ashumant was a very great king, the light of the Raghus, and he had a great son famed as Dilipa. Turning the kingdom over to Dilipa, the light of the Raghus, he performed very serious austerities on a lovely peak in the Himalayas. After living in an ascetic's grove for 32,000 years, the renowned ascetic King Ashumant at last attained heaven. Mighty Dilipa too, upon learning about the slaughter of his grandfathers, found his thoughts so scattered by grief that he too was unable to arrive at a solution. He brooded about it constantly, wondering, how can I bring down the Ganga? How can I perform their funerary libations? How can I save them? Thus did the king, celebrated for his righteousness, constantly brood, and in time a most righteous son, named Bhagiratta, was born to him. Mighty King Dilipa performed many sacrifices and reigned for 30,000 years. Even so, tiger among men, he could think of no way to save his ancestors. At last he took ill and succumbed to the law of time. At first, consecration, man, there are two gnats that are over here because of the light, and like I never have gnats in here. Sorry about that. How can I bring down the Ganga? How can I perform their funerary libations? How can I save them? Thus did the king, celebrated for his righteousness, constantly brood, and in time a most righteous son, named Bhagiratta, was born to him. Mighty King Dilipa performed many sacrifices and reigned for 30,000 years. Even so, tiger among men, he could think of no way to save his ancestors. At last he took ill and succumbed to the law of time. Do it like this. After first consecrating his son, Bhagiratta, as king, the bull among men, the king, went to Indra's world by virtue of the merit he had acquired for himself through his deeds. Now the righteous and mighty royal seer, Bhagarata had no children, Delight of the Raghus, and since he lacked an heir, he wished to have one. For this season, Delight of the Raghus, he undertook protracted austerities at Gokarna, keeping his arms continuously raised, eating but once a month, and controlling his senses. He practiced the austerities of the 5 fires. After he had practiced such awesome asceticism for 1,000 years, Lord Brahma, supreme lord and master of all creatures, was greatly pleased. Accompanied by the hosts of gods, Grandfather Brahma approached great Bhagarata, still immersed in his austerities, and said, "Illustrious Bhagarata, lord of the people, I am pleased with these austerities you have performed so well. You have been true to your vows, and so may choose a boon." That illustrious and mighty Bhagarata stood, cupping his hands in reverence, and spoke to Brahma, grandfather of all the worlds. "If you are pleased with me, Lord, and if I am to have some reward for my austerities, then let me be the one to offer the funerary libations to all the sons of Sagara. Let the ashes of those great men, my great-grandfathers, be moistened by the waters of the Ganga, so that they may at last attain heaven. O God, grant me also children, so that our line shall never fail. O God, let this be my second boon on behalf of the house of Ikshvaku." When the king had delivered this speech, the grandfather of all the worlds replied to him in fine words, both sweet and sweetly spoken. "Bhagarata, great chariot warrior, this noble wish of yours shall come true. Bless you, you shall extend the Ikshvaku dynasty. Hemvadi, the Ganga, is the eldest daughter of the Himalaya. Your Majesty Hara shall be charged with checking her fall. For you, Majesty, the earth would not be able to withstand the force of the Ganga's fall. Hero, I know of no one other than Shiva, the trident bearer, who could check her fall." When the god creator of the world had addressed the king in this fashion, he spoke to the Ganga, and they went to heaven with all the host of Maruts. Let's see. That was Sarga 41. We're going to continue on Sarga 42. Chapter 42. After the god of gods had gone, Rama, Bhagarata stood for a year on the tip of one big toe worshipping Shiva. At the end of that year, Shiva Pasupati, lord of beasts and husband of Uma, who was worshipped by all the worlds, said this to the king, "Best of men, I am pleased with you and will do whatever you desire. I shall bear the daughter of the mountain king on my head." And so Rama, Ganga, the elder, Hemavati, who was worshipped by all the worlds, then took on an extremely powerful form and plunged from the sky with irresistible force onto Shiva's gracious head. This is where you see the Ganga on in Shiva's locks. But bewildered by the coils of his matted hair, she could not find her way out, and so the goddess wandered about in there for a great many years. Hara was immensely pleased by this Delight of the Raghus. And so he released the Ganga into Lake Bindu. And that is how she came down from the sky onto Shankara's head, and from there to the earth, her waters rushing down with a deafening roar. And as she fell to earth from the sky, the gods, seers, Gandharvas, Yakshas, and hosts of perfected beings looked on. Even the gods gathered there in their flying, huge as cities, with their horses and splendid elephants, were awed. Thus did the hosts of immeasurably powerful gods assemble in their desire to see that the greatest of marvels, the mighty descent of the Ganga. The cloudless sky was shining with the host of hastening gods and the splendor of their ornaments, so that it seemed illuminated by 100 suns. Filled with masses of twisting snakes, dolphins, and fish, the sky seemed shot with scattered lightning, now white with 1,000 shreds of flying foam and flocks of hamsas. The sky seemed suddenly filled with autumnal clouds. At some points the river flowed swiftly, at others slowly, and in some places it moved tortuously or broadened out. At others it narrowed and sank between its banks only. Here and there the water dashed back upon itself, momentarily hurled up into the air only to fall to earth once more. The water fell first upon Shankara's head, and only then to earth. Therefore it shone, for it was pure, and able to wash away all sin. Then thinking, water fallen from Baba's body is holy. The Gandharvas, the host of seers, bathed there with those who dwelt on earth. Even those who had fallen to earth from heaven through some curse were freed from all sin by bathing there. Cleansed from their sins by that drinking water, they flew up into the sky again and were restored to their proper worlds. People were delighted by that shining water and joyfully bathed in the Ganga, freeing themselves from all weariness. Then as the royal seer, mighty Bhagarata, mounted in celestial chariot, drove on before the Ganga, followed along behind him. Joyously following the Ganga, Rama, all the gods, the host of seers, the deities, Danavas, and Rakshasas, the foremost of Gandharvas and Yakshas, the Kannaras, great serpents, and all the Apsarasis, with all the creatures of the water, made a procession behind Bhagarata's chariot. And thus did this most illustrious of rivers, the Ganga, who washes away all sins, follow in King Bhagarata's train. That was Sarga 42, this is Sarga 43. Followed by the Ganga, the king proceeded to the ocean and entered that gaping hole in the earth where his ancestors had been turned to ashes. And when those ashes were flooded with water, Rama, Brahma, the Lord of all the world, spoke to the king, Tiger among men, the 60,000 sons of great Sagara have been saved, and like gods have gone to heaven. Your Majesty, the sons of Sagara will remain in heaven like gods as long as the waters of the ocean remain in the world. And the Ganga will be your eldest daughter. She too will remain in the world and will be known by a name that you shall give her. For the Ganga, the river of the three paths, will be known as the celestial Bhagarati, and because she sanctifies three courses, she will be known as the Tripataka, she who goes by the three paths. Lord of men, you must perform here the funerary libation for your forefathers. Fulfill your vow, your Majesty, your glorious ancestor Sagara, a champion of righteousness, could not fulfill this cherished hope. Nor, my son, was this vow fulfilled by Ashumant, though his power was unrivaled in this world, and he strove to bring the Ganga down. Then there was your father, the mighty royal seer Dilipa. I'm yawning a lot. Gets you into the heart. Whose power was equal to that of a great seer, and whose austerity was equal to mine. But even that blameless and illustrious man, so steadfast in the code of the Kshatriyas, could not, for he too strove to do so, think of a way to bring down the Ganga. But you have fulfilled this vow, bull among men. You have won the highest and most coveted glory in the world, and foe-conquering hero, by bringing down the Ganga, you have earned the great abode of righteousness. Bathe yourself in these waters, best of men, for bathing here is always purifying. Purify yourself, tiger among men, and now achieve the holy purpose of your quest. Make the funerary libations for all your forefathers. Farewell, I should go to my own world. You may depart, your Majesty. Having spoken in this fashion, the Lord of gods, the glorious grandfather of all worlds, departed from the world of the gods just as he had come. Then the glorious king, the royal seer, Bhagarata, offered magnificent funerary libations to the sons of Sagara in due order according to the ritual injunctions. At last, after bathing and purifying himself once more, he returned to his own city. Having thus accomplished his purpose, best of men, he once more ruled his kingdom. His people too rejoiced, Raghava, for in retaining their king, they too had accomplished their goal and were freed from all sorrow and anxiety. And now I have told you the entire history of the Ganga, Rama. Bless you, and may fortune smile upon you. But see, the time for our evening devotions is slipping away. The tale I have just told you, the descent of the Ganga, brings one wealth, fame, long life, heaven, and even sons. It's Sarga 44. When Raghava, seated there with Lakshman, heard of Vishvamitra's words, he was amazed and said to him, Brahma, this excellent tale you have told, this tale of the holy descent of the Ganga, and the filling of the ocean is truly wonderful. And as he sat with Sumitri in contemplation of Vishvamitra's marvelous tale, the whole night slipped away. Then in the clear light of dawn, foe-conquering Raghava said these words to the great sage Vishvamitra, who had already performed his daily devotions. The holy goddess Night has gone, and we have heard something well worth hearing. Mighty ascetic, in my careful contemplation of your story, the whole night passed for me as though it were but a moment. Now let us cross this best of streams, the holy river of the three paths. Here is a boat with comfortable seats that belongs to the seers of the holy deeds. Realizing that so holy a man as you had come, they must have sent it in haste. When Vishvamitra had heard Raghava's words, he made the crossing with a group of seers and the two Raghavas. Reaching the northern bank, they paid homage to the host of seers, and once they landed on the Ganga's bank, they beheld the city of Vishala. From there, the great sage, the two Raghavas, proceeded at once towards that lovely and celestial city, comparable only to heaven. Wise Rama cupped his hands in reverence and questioned the great sage Vishvamitra about the excellent city of Veshala. Great sage, what royal family dwells in Veshala? Bless you, I wish to hear about it, for my curiosity is very great. When he heard Rama's words, the bull among sages began to relate the ancient history of Veshala. Rama, now listen to the marvelous story of Shakra as I tell it. Raghava, you shall hear what happened in this region just as it took place. Long ago, Rama, in the Krita Yuga, the sons of Diti were very powerful. But the sons of Aditi were also mighty, and in addition they were illustrious and extremely righteous. Once best of men, a thought occurred to all of those great beings. How may we become immortal, free from old age and sickness? As those wise beings were pondering this, an idea occurred to them. If we should churn the ocean of milk, we might obtain from it the elixir of immortality. There might know no bounds. So once they had resolved to undertake such a churning, they took the great serpent Vasuki for the rope, and Mount Mandara as their churn, and began to churn. The first things to appear were the physician Dhanvantari and the resplendent Apsarasis. Since the best of sons, Manu, these last the most resplendent of women, were born of that churning in the waters, Apsu, from the elixir Rasa, and they became to be known as Apsarasis, or water maidens. That could be the nymphs. Ever think about that? 600 million was the number of these resplendent Apsarasis, Kakutsa, and their maidservants were innumerable, but neither the gods nor the Danavas would accept them. So because they were not accepted, they are said to belong to everyone. After this delight of the Raghus, Varuna's illustrious daughter, Varuni, was born. She too wished to be accepted, heroic Rama. The sons of Diti would not accept Sura, Wine, the daughter of Varuna, but the sons of Aditi did accept her, for she was irreproachable. Because of this, the Daityas came to be known as the Ashuras, those who have no wine, and while the sons of Aditi became the Suras, those who have wine. Having accepted Varuni, the gods were joyful and excited. Next best of men came Uchayisravas. I'm trying there. Uchayisravas.
Uchayisravas.
How do you say it?
Uchayisravas.
Uchayisravas. Foremost of heroes, and Kaustubha, most precious of gems, followed. What was it again?
Kaustubh money. Kaustubh. It's a
Kuspa. Okay.
It's a garland. It's a garland worn by the Vishnu.
Most precious of gems, followed by the finest thing of all, the nectar. For the sake of this nectar, the sons of Aditi slaughtered the sons of Diti, so that her family suffered an enormous loss. Indeed, Aditi's heroic sons slew almost all the sons of Diti in that great and terrible war of the Daityas and the Adityas. When Indra, smasher of citadels, and had slain the sons of Diti and seized sovereignty, he was delighted and ruled the worlds together with their hosts of seers and celestial bards. That was Sarga 44. Thank you so much for helping me with the pronunciation, my friend. Paresh.
No worries. You guys know that the Ganga water, it's so pure that there is no other water in the world that you can keep and store, right? Because it
stagnates.
It stagnates. But the Ganga water, you can keep it in a bottle for hundreds of years and it doesn't stagnate.
Yeah.
It's really pure.
I hope to be able to see the Ganga in person one day, even though my guru says that all water is the Ganga, with the right mentality, with the right eyes. But I do hope to actually see the actual Ganga at some point, if God's grace allows it, if He wills.
Yeah, it will. He will, surely.
Jai Ram. Now when Diti's sons were killed, Rama, she was overwhelmed with grief and spoke to her husband, Marika Kashyapa. Holy One, your mighty sons have slain my sons, Now I desire to obtain, through long austerities, a son who shall slay Shakra. I will undertake austerities, but you must give me a child and promise that he will be a son capable of killing Shakra." Hearing her words, mighty Marika Kashyapa replied to the grief-stricken Diti, "Bless you, ascetic woman. Make yourself pure, for you shall give birth to a son who can slay Shakra in battle. If you remain pure, then when a full 1,000 years have elapsed, you shall through me give birth to a son capable of destroying the three worlds." Speaking in this fashion, the mighty man stroked her with his hand. Then, having touched her in this way, he said farewell and went off to practice austerities. When he had gone, best of men, Diti, now utterly delighted, went to Kasha Plavana, where she performed the most awesome austerities. But best of men, while she was practicing these austerities, thousand-eyed Indra served her most virtuously. Thus thousand-eyed Indra brought her fire, kusha grass, firewood, water, fruits, roots, and whatever else she desired. In this way, Shakra served Diti unceasingly, massaging her limbs to lessen her weariness. And so it was, delight of the Raghus, that when but 10 years remained of the 1,000, Diti, completely won over by thousand-eyed Indra, said to him, "Bless you, foremost among the mighty. There are but 10 short years remaining of the term of my austerity. Then you shall see your brother. He will desire to conquer you, but for your sake I shall appease him. Be free now of anxiety, my son, for you shall share the conquest of the three worlds with him." The sun was at its zenith, and even as the goddess Diti was saying this to Shakra, she was suddenly overcome by sleep, while her feet were where her head should have been. Shakra saw that she was in a state of impurity, for she had placed the hair of her head where her feet ought to have been, and put her feet in the place for her head. He was delighted and laughed out loud. Then Indra, smasher of citadels, entered into the opening in her body, and with complete self-possession smashed her fetus into 7 pieces. Smashed by his 100-pointed Vajra, the fetus cried so loudly, Rama, that Dita awoke. "Maruda, Maruda, do not cry," said Shakra to the fetus. Then through it went on crying. Vasava smashed it. "Do not kill him, cried Diti. And in deference to a mother's words, Shakra came forth, still holding the Vajra and cupping his hands in reverence. Shakra addressed Diti, "Goddess, you were sleeping with the hair of your head where your feet should have been, and were thus impure. I seized upon that opportunity to smash him who was having been born to the slayer of Shakra in battle, so that he now lies in 7 pieces. Goddess, please forgive me for what I have done." Now I don't actually know the figurative story behind that. I don't know the allegory there, but it does continue. Are you guys down to do another 5? Or
Yeah, sure.
yeah, word. Let's see what's perfect. It's 10 o'clock. When Diti's fetus had been split into 7 pieces, she was overwhelmed with great sorrow and spoke humbly to the invincible thousand-eyed Indra. "It is my own fault that my fetus has been split into 7 pieces and rendered useless. Lord of the gods, slayer of Bala, you are not to blame for this, but I should like to see some good come of the destruction of my fetus. Let the 7 fragments become the guardians of the regions, of the 7 winds. Let the 7 sons I have borne be known as the Marutas, and let them wander freely in celestial forms through the regions of the winds in heaven. Let one move through Brahmaloka, another through the world of Indra, while a third, the illustrious Vayu, shall move freely through the city. Bless you, best of gods. Let my remaining 4 sons be gods, and at your command range freely in all directions. Let them be known as the Marutas, those who do not cry, as the very name, Marutas, those who do not cry, the very name you gave them." Hearing her words, thousand-eyed Indra, the smasher of citadels, the slayer of Bala, cupped his hands in reverence and addressed Diti. "Bless you, everything will be just as you say. You need have no doubt. Your sons shall become gods and range freely." And so they reached an agreement there in the ascetic's forest, Rama, and as both mother and son had accomplished their purposes, they departed for heaven, or so we have heard. Kakutsa, this is the very region where the great Lord Indra dwelt, while serving Diti, who had become perfect through austerity. Tiger among men, an extremely righteous son, known as Vishala, was once born to Ikshvaku and Alambusa. It was there who founded the city of Vishala, here on this site. The mighty Himachandra was Vishala's son, Rama. Himachandra's immediate successor was called Sukandra. Sukandra's son was known as Dhumrashva, Rama, and this Dhumrashva followed a son named Srinjaya. Shinjaya's son was the majestic and valiant Sahadeva. Sahadeva had a most righteous son named Kushashva. Kushashva's son was the valiant and powerful Samadatta. Samadatta's son was known as Kakutsa. It is the latter's mighty son, the godlike and invincible Sumati, who now lives in this city. Through the grace of Ikshvaku, all the great kings of Vishala are long-lived, mighty and righteous. We shall spend the night here in comfort, Rama. Tomorrow morning, best of men, we must see Janaka. Now when the mighty and illustrious Sumati, foremost among outstanding men, heard that Vishvamitra had arrived, he went forth to welcome him. Accompanied by his kinsmen and counselors, he accorded him the greatest reverence. Cupping his hands in reverence, he inquired after Vishvamitra's well-being and said to him, I am fortunate, sage, indeed I am highly favored, in that you have come not only into my kingdom but into my very presence. Surely there is no one more fortunate than I. That was Sarga 46. We're going to be continuing in Sarga 47. The two men greeted each other, each inquiring as to the well-being of the other. Then, formalities at an end, Sumati said these words to the great sage. Bless you, these two heroic princes looked as valorous as the gods. They looked like tigers or bulls and moved like lions or elephants. Armed with swords, quivers, and bows, their eyes as long as lotus petals, in the full bloom of their young manhood, they rivaled the Ashvins in their beauty. They seemed like immortals by some chance to come to the earth from the world of the gods. How is it, sage, that they come here on foot? What is the purpose of their visit? Whose sons are they? Identical in form, gesture, and movement, they adorn this land as the sun and moon adorn the sky. When I have these fine men, these heroes come by this difficult road, bearing such splendid weapons. I wish to hear the truth of this. When Vishvamitra had heard this speech, he told them just as it had happened, of their stay in the ashram of the perfected being and the killing of the Rakshasas. Upon hearing Vishvamitra's words, the king was overjoyed and paid due homage to the two mighty sons of Dasarath, for they were important guests and deserving of great honor. Treated with such respect by Sumati, the two Raghavas stayed there for one night and then went on to Mithila. When the sages saw Mithila, Janaka's glorious city, they praised it, crying, Wonderful, wonderful! But Raghava, noticing an ancient ashram, lovely and deserted in a wood near Mithila, questioned that bull among sages. This splendid spot appears to be an ashram. Why is it then empty of sages, holy man? I wish to hear about it. To whom did this ashram once belong? When he heard the words that Raghava had spoken, the great sage Vishvamitra, so skilled in speech, replied, Ah, listen, Raghava, and I will tell you exactly whose ashram this was, and how it came to be cursed by that great man in anger. Best of men, this heavenly ashram, which even the gods worship, once belonged to the great Gautama. And it was here, renowned prince, that he engaged in such austerities with Ahalya for many, many years. Now one time, Shakti's lord, thousand-eyed Indra, learning of the sage's absence, took on his appearance and said these words to Ahalya, Shapely wasted woman, I want to make love to you. Now the foolish woman knew that it was thousand-eyed Indra in the guise of the sage, delight of the Raghus, but she consented in her lust for the king of the gods. And when she had accomplished her heart's desire, she said to the best of gods, You have fulfilled your desire, best of gods. Now you must go quickly. You must always protect yourself and me, Lord of the gods, my lover. Smiling, Indra said these words to Ahalya, Fair-hipped woman, I am satisfied and shall depart as I came. Having made love to her in this manner, Rama, he came out of her leaf hut uneasy about Gautama, and hastening in his fear. And there he met the great sage Gautama coming in, unassailable by the gods and Danavas, and filled with the power of his austerities. That bull among sages was still damp with the water of the bathing place. Yet carrying kindling and kusha grass, he shone like fire. Seeing him, the Lord of gods became frightened and his face fell. Now when the good sage saw the wicked thousand-eyed Indra in his own guise, he spoke in anger. You fool, for taking on my form and doing a thing that is not to be done, you shall lose your testicles. No sooner had the great and furious sage Gautama spoken in this fashion than the thousand-eyed Indra's testicles fell to the ground. I love these stories sometimes, guys. Having cursed Chakra, he then cursed his wife as saying, not just sometimes, always, really, You shall live here for many thousands of years. You shall dwell in this ashram with nothing to eat. Your only food, air, suffering. Lying on ashes and invisible to all creatures, you will be purified only when Rama, the invincible son of Dasara, comes to this dreadful forest. Only through extending hospitality to him, you wicked woman, will you take on your proper body in my presence, free from lust and folly and filled with joy. When the mighty Gautama had spoken to his ill-behaved wife in this fashion, he abandoned his ashram, and now the great ascetic performs his austerities in the Himalayas on a lovely peak, frequented by perfected beings and celestial bards. Sarga 48. Now that Shakra was emasculated, he spoke, his terror showing in his face, to the gods who were led by Agni, god of fire, and accompanied by the celestial bards and host of seers. In arousing the anger of great Gautama, and thereby creating an obstacle to his austerities, I have accomplished the work of the gods. For in his wrath he has emasculated me, and repudiated his wife. Thus in provoking the great outpouring of curses, I have robbed him of his ascetic's power. Therefore all of you great gods, celestial bards, hosts of seers, should restore my testicles for me, for I have aided the gods. I can say that on TikTok Live, right? It's just anatomy. When the gods, led by Agni, heard these words of Indra, god of 100 sacrifices, they went with all the hosts of the Maruts to the divine ancestors and said, Shakra has been emasculated, but here is a ram whose testicles are intact. Take the ram's testicles and give them to Shakra at once. The castrated ram will give you the greatest satisfaction, as will those men will offer for your pleasure. When the divine ancestors assembled there, they had heard Agni's words. They tore out the ram's testicles and handed them to the thousand-eyed Indra. And from that time onward, Kakutsa, the assembly of the divine ancestor eats castrated rams, reserving their testicles for Indra. And that is why, from that time onward, Raghava, through the power of the great Gautama's asceticism, Indra has had a ram's testicles. It's wild, man. That is wild. Come then, mighty man, to the ashram of that holy sage, and save illustrious Ahalya, who is as lovely as a goddess. Upon hearing Vishvamitra's words, Raghava followed the sage and entered the ashram with Lakshman. There he saw that illustrious woman, blazing with an inner splendor through her austerities, yet hidden from the eyes of all who came near, even gods and asheras. She was like a goddess, and it seemed as if the Creator herself had wrought her with great effort, out of pure creative energy. She was like a brilliant flame, whose form is obscured by smoke. She was like the light of the full moon, but clouded or obscured by mist, or like the blazing splendor of the suns, discerned but dimly through dense clouds. For though the words of Gautama, she had become invisible to the three worlds, until such a time as she should see Rama. The two Raghavas then grasped her feet, and she welcomed them, recalling Gautama's words. Attentively she provided hospitality, giving them the guest offering and water for their feet, according to the rites enjoined by tradition, and Kakutsa accepted them. Suddenly there was a great shower of blossoms, accompanied by the sounds of the gods' drums. And there was a great gathering of Gandharvas and Apsarasis. Wonderful, wonderful, cried the gods. And they paid homage to Ahalya, once more submissive to Gautama's control, her body purified through the power of her austerities. Mighty Gautama was overjoyed to be reunited at last with Ahalya, and the great ascetic did homage to Rama in the prescribed fashion. Then having done so, he resumed his austerities. And as for Rama, he received this great homage from the great sage Gautama in the prescribed fashion, and then proceeded on to Mithila. Sarga 49. Following Vishvamitra, Rama and Sumitri proceeded toward the northeast until they came to a sacrificial ground. Then Rama and Lakshman spoke to the tiger among sages. Wonderful indeed is the magnificence of great Janaka's sacrifice. Illustrious sage, there are many thousands of Brahmas here, residents of many countries, all learned in the Vedas. The dwelling of these seers all appear to be crowded with hundreds of carts, Brahma. Please arrange for a place for us to stay. Upon hearing Rama's speech, the great seer Vishvamitra made camp in a secluded spot with water near at hand. Learning that Vishvamitra had arrived, the king, following his irreproachable Purohita, Satananda, and his great sacrificial priests, at once brought the great guest offering and righteously offered it to the best of sages, to the accompaniment of the Vedic mantras. Accepting the homage of the great Janaka, he inquired after the king's health and the smooth progress of the sacrifice. He also inquired after the sages' preceptors and the Purohita, embracing them all joyously as is the custom. Then the king, his hands cupped in reverence, addressed the best of sages. Please be seated with these excellent sages, holy men. Hearing Janaka's words, the great sage sat down, followed by the Purohita, sacrificial priests, the king, and his counselors. Then the king, seeing them all seated around in proper fashion, spoke to Vishvamitra. Today the gods have made fruitful the lavishness of my sacrifice. But in seeing the